Hello and welcome back to the farm. If you were here last time, you'll remember that we got ourselves a new grain truck that is currently filled with silage. Boy, that's something I couldn't do in real life. Anyways, currently filled with silage. We just topped off the cows, so they're good with this amount of silage here, but maybe we can fit some more in since it is showing. Alright, that's good. Apparently they're eating more silage than I thought. Okay, perfect. That actually makes me very happy. I may have simulated overnight. I must have done that after the end of the recording last time. Sorry about that, but also that helps. So now that we're back, we have some field work that we're doing. Where's a good place to park this? It doesn't look like it'll fit in that garage. Maybe... Sorry for the camera work here. I'm just trying to get my bearings. Maybe down here? Makes sense. Now, I was thinking about a few different things. One, it sure would be nice to have fuel up here on the farm, so I don't have to run these old tractors downtown all the time. Two, we probably should get a TMR mixer at some point. Three, I need to use that tractor over there to clean out the animals. But I think I'll finish the plowing job and then go do animal work. My question is, if I do this, will that tractor be able to go with a worker and plant or not? That I'm not sure about. So here's the situation, guys. We're still trying to work on this debt, right? We're trying to pay this debt off, but at the same time, there's some equipment that we need that could make our lives a little bit easier. Like a fuel tank would be helpful. A slurry spreader could be really nice. Maybe a tank for some other, because we have a sprayer, right? So I could get a tank where we'd be able to fill up liquid fertilizer. We have our manure spreader, so basically to get our 3 coverings of fertilizer, we could do one as liquid fertilizer, one as slurry, and one as solid manure. But, oops, I don't really want to I don't want to spend money, you know? It's kind of a catch-22. The faster we can pay down this debt, then the less it will cost. I think, and you guys can tell me if you think I'm crazy, but I think if we get this planted, I mean, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. We get this field planted, that field planted. We can do some grass work and get some more silage going. And we could maybe even do an episode where we run a few loads up to the barn. Get $7 grand every time we take that trip. If we do that several times, we could cut this debt in half. Or we could spend some of it on some of these creature comforts. I'm not sure what's the best course of action. So I do have another farm lined up that I want to do a season 2 of Save the Farm. And I know that's silly because we're only at like basically the halfway point financially of this, but I think we have stuff in place now that we should be able to make more money more rapidly. That's the hope, anyways. That's the hope. Oh, come on. Just the amount of time that it takes to drop this plow takes just a little bit more than I expect every time. Kind of a bummer. But yeah, I'll tell you one thing, or ask you one thing, if you're, tuning in here. First of all, I really appreciate anybody who takes time out of their day to watch my videos. That means a lot to me. Thanks for your support, whether you're a big FS fan or whether you're just supporting the channel because you like other games that I play or you know me. Appreciate it. The other thing is I would love to know what you think about the format. If you think that I should do, instead of these sort of episode style, if you think I should try something different. I like watching episodes, which is why I set it up this way. But I'm just curious what other people think and how you typically watch. Because I know there are some very successful FS YouTubers out there. Maybe we'll start plowing up here. I think we keep going this way. Yeah? It is strange that I did this field this way and then this field this way. I guess I did... That's odd. Anyways, we're going to leave the plow here, and I'm going to go clean out the animals and make sure they have water. Should have done it last episode, probably. Wow. It's a bouncy old girl here. I think our bucket is in the manure pen. Or not pen. What do you even call this? Manure area. So let's get the cows first. Wonder how much milk they have. I should check that too. Doesn't feel like it was that long ago that we took the milk down. So, oh, we still have 80 manure in here. Oops. That's gross. See, if I was really hardcore, I would go and I would go over to the power washer and clean this before I come clean out the feeding stalls. But I'm not that hardcore. I thought about that. Like, I wonder if there would be an audience for, like, ultra realistic play. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Come on. There it goes. And I go back and forth. I think there could be an audience for it, but I don't know if it would be substantive enough. And that's the thing that has been difficult since I started this channel, is just realizing, oh, we did the milk already. Maybe last night before I simulated. Alright, so plenty of slurry there. Plenty of slurry there. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I bet a slurry spreader would go pretty far. But do we want to spend the money on it, is the question. How are the pigs on food? Yeah, they're okay. Is it worth spending the money on a slurry spreader? Or maybe it's worth it just to rent one, lease it again, like I did last time. Just lease it for the one application, since the slurry is free. Lease it, use it that time, use up all the slurry, and then return the spreader. Sprayer. Nebby. I didn't know. Alright. Did I really leave the combine right there beside the sprayer? The power washer? Lazy farmer. We'll finish the job here and put the combine away for a few days. Can I reach this tractor from here? Yeah, boy. Is that out of range or what? Maybe it's just really yucky because it was in manure. Alright, here we go. Yikes. A little too close for comfort there. I should probably take the bucket off, huh? Oh well. Shouldn't kill it. It should be fine. Now we don't need to plow. We could cultivate. But I don't have a cultivator, and any of the ones that I would get would be probably smaller in width than this. So since you can plow this at 7 miles an hour, heck with it. So now we're gonna go to this tractor. Okay, so this I did fill up the fuel. Good. All right, so we're gonna put these beans in. This is the one that is really light in the front end. I was gonna switch these and I didn't. Oops. Let's see how it does. Is it going to get stuck there? Is it going to do the eternal turning around? Or is it going to be able to straighten itself back up? Oh, looks like it figured it out. Look at us go. This is a dual tractor operation here. Except that I hit the wrong button. I was so proud too. I was just plugging away, just thinking of something cool to say to you guys, and forgot to hit the planter button. In fact, I had it ready. Okay, down, on. There it is. So I'm just going to keep this planter for this save, but I found an IH cycloplanter in the old school farming group that I'm using on one of my other farms that I'm not recording, and it is real nice. I actually did a review of it a couple weeks ago. So if you're interested in this kind of equipment and you haven't seen that, it's the IH cycloplanter. I reviewed it with Farmall 1206. So if you're into that sort of thing, definitely go check it out. It's a really nice setup, and it's been fun to use. I only planted, I think, one field with it on my other save, but I'm looking forward to doing more of that. But I don't really want to jockey equipment too much on this save. Now that we're what feels like coming at least moderately down the home stretch. I don't want to do too much of that. So in case you're new around here, this is a Farmall 806 pulling a Kverneland 6-row planter, and we're planting soybeans. Sorry about going crooked there. I was thinking too much about a screenshot and not enough about going straight. But this, I think, is a nice mid-sized farm setup. You know, it'll take me every bit 15, 20 minutes to do a field this size, which I think is fair. Um, some of the big farms, people to take the same amount of time to do 3 times as much ground because they're using a planter that's 2 or 3 times the size and a big old tractor with tons of horsepower. But the fun thing about this Save the Farm Save is it's new Woodshire. You know, these are smaller fields, small to medium sized equipment, and we're doing things the old school way, at least somewhat old school. I guess at this point, you know, I tend to think of things from the 80s being not that long ago. 80s and 90s equipment, though, is 30, 40 years old. So pretty old compared to the equipment that comes with the game. One thing I've talked about in the past is, you know, I hope that in the next iteration of Farm Sim, whenever we get that, we already know it won't be this year, but whenever we get it, I hope that they embrace the used equipment category. I think there are plenty of modders out there who can build stuff from scratch, and I think that they've got a lot of mods in the mod hub already that would qualify for it. So I think they should make a used equipment category, and so when you do a start from scratch, which is built into the game, right? That's like a thing that they want you to be able to do. So when you do a start from scratch, you can start off with old-timey little equipment and make some money and go get bigger equipment and buy more fields and level up, kind of. I think that would be really fun. And if you happen to find some old tractor that maybe you don't want to upgrade, kind of like I've done on this farm with the M that I use for raking and tedding and sometimes spraying, that little old tractor will do quite a bit. It doesn't need a ton of horsepower. And I think stuff like that is really cool. There's no need for people to be driving the biggest, you don't need a quad track on a farm like this. You don't need some crazy 400, 500 horsepower, massive duals on the back and pulling a 40-meter implement. Like, get out of here. That would be foolish here. Let's use the equipment that's right for different size farms. There are some good sized fields on this map. Like, I don't mean to insult New Woodshire. There's some really nice big fields. That's just not what I'm going for with this playthrough. And I'm missing a lot more than I should be as a veteran FS player. Goodness. But back to what I was asking about earlier. If I know that there are a lot of people that, they'll watch a game like this and just sort of have it on in the background where they're doing other stuff and enjoy the peaceful scenery. And hopefully people enjoy my content like that. I know that there are a lot of people that do time lapse and have some intense music, and they set their gameplay at 5 or 8 or 10 times the speed, and so they're able to get a lot more done. And there are times that I feel like, man, I did a whole episode and all I did was plant one field. It just feels like I'm not getting anything done in the amount of time. But that's comparing apples to oranges, and I want to be comparing apples to apples. So if you think that it would, if I did a time lapse with American equipment, American vintage equipment, if that would interest you, please let me know in the comments that you'd be interested in that, and I'll see if I can fire one up. But if people watching my playthroughs want to watch me honestly and sincerely play at real time, I don't want to shift and ruin the series. Or maybe I'll start a second series, a second farm sim series, and have the second one be time lapsed and keep this one how it is, something like that. I don't know. I just don't know. So let me know. I'd appreciate your feedback. I'm right. For those of you that have been following for a while, you'll notice I've had a little bit of growth here this past month, but then it plateaus, and you have to figure out, is it plateauing because of what I'm doing, or is it plateauing because people just aren't interested in the content anymore? Have people watched me plow and plant this field too many times? Because I know that people want to see variety, but at the same time, it wouldn't make sense for a farmer in a small farm who's trying to get out of debt to buy new equipment every day. Like what? That wouldn't be the case. I just bought a new truck last episode. And I used it at the start of this one. So that'd be foolish for me to go out and spend more money I don't have. I mean, I'm already spending money on the worker over there, so that'll cut down on time spent on this planting phase. I think what we'll do in the next episode is I'll keep the worker plowing that field, and then we'll run back behind the silo back there and go ahead and get another trip around the silage field back there. I'm thinking about cutting it the opposite way. I always cut going up and down the hill, and I'm thinking next time I might cut it long ways. The people clamor for variety. We'll cut the field the opposite way. Hoorah. Being facetious mostly, but sorry that I got a little crooked here. I don't know what happened. I'll try to fix it for anybody who's triggered by those sorts of things. Speaking of triggered, check out this segue. Ready? Speaking of triggered, would any of you be interested in watching me play a hunting simulator? Ooh. No, seriously, I've been playing Hunter Call of the Wild, and if that's something that would interest you, let me know. I thought about trying to integrate sort of like a role play with this game. I don't know how well that would work, but basically, like, hop in the pickup truck in this game and ride out like we're gonna go shoot deer by our cornfield or something, and then transition to the other game. Thought about trying to do something like that. Thought that could be fun. But we'll see. We shall see. But until then, until the next time I come back and work on silage in the backfield, we're going to go ahead and leave the old 806 right here. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support. If you haven't already subscribed, it would mean a lot to me if you could drop a subscription and a like if you liked it. And hopefully, I will catch you next week, approximately the same time, same channel. Thanks so much for being here. Bye for now.